out,
There's too
we've got
much.
a NASCAR champion who turns 3 states into his personal racetrack. A mysterious driver who does something so impossible, cops still can't explain it 25 years later. And 3 skilled street racers who almost evaded capture, but then made a fatal mistake. These aren't your typical drunk drivers trying to avoid a DUI.
Yeah, can you just put the lightsaber away for us first?
These are people with serious driving skills, and in some cases,
Oh.
even professional racing experience. And when cops realize that the person they're chasing knows how to drive, the situation gets intense. But before we dive into these crazy chases, you need to understand something. Most police chases are predictable. Some idiot runs a red light, sees the cops, panics, and tries to escape. They usually crash within 5 minutes or run out of gas eventually, but every once in a while, officers encounter someone different, someone who actually knows what they're doing behind the wheel. And that's when things get really interesting. Now, make sure to leave a like and let's get started.
Okay. Let's do it.
April 3rd, 1997, Garden City,
97?
Georgia. Officer Wayne Daniels is patrolling the quiet streets when he spots a Chevy Corsica blow through a stop sign. Now, a Corsica isn't exactly a speed demon, but this driver somehow pushes that piece of junk to its absolute limits. The Corsica driver does not stop, and the chase begins. Daniel hits his lights and sirens while the Corsica accelerates, weaving through residential streets.
Oh my God.
The dash cam footage shows a pretty
Why you
standard
in
pursuit
Toronto?
at first. The suspect's taking corners hard, running red lights, typical escape attempt stuff. The Corsica driver seems to realize that he's running out of options, so he takes a wide right turn, before suddenly, well, the driver does something that nobody can explain to this day. He makes a hard left toward a chain link fence. Officer Daniels follows. The dashcam footage shows the Corsica's taillights approaching the fence, and then they're on the other side. Daniels slams his brakes. He's now staring at an intact fence with a car driving away on the other side like nothing happened. Then he gets out and checks the fence. It's solid. No hole,
Nah.
no damage, nothing. The footage is creepy as hell. You can see the dust cloud where the car went through, but the fence, however, is perfectly fine. Daniels radios it in. Unit 7, I've lost visual on suspect vehicle. It went through a fence. Say again, Unit 7. The car went through the fence, but the fence is still standing. To this day, Garden City PD has no explanation for what happened. They've had experts analyze the footage. They've tested theories, but nothing really makes sense. The TV show, Fact or Faked, even did a whole episode on it. They tried ramping over the fence, which resulted in them destroying the fence, cutting through it quickly, which also left substantial damages on the fence, and even going under it, which also didn't work. The only working theory would be that the fence had loose brackets at the bottom, the car went under at the exact right angle and speed, and the fence snapped back perfectly. But the odds for that are astronomical.
Exactly.
However,
Like, bro, what?
there is still more to this story, because there is something that makes the Garden City ghost car case even more bizarre. The driver was never caught, never identified. To this day, nobody knows who was behind the wheel. Even 25 years later, people are talking about it, all because of just one piece of equipment, a dash cam. Without that footage, Officer Daniels would have just been another cop with a wild story.
Bro, imagine how many times that has happened. A dash cam. Why do I feel like there's a dash cam advertisement coming up, though? I'm tweaking. Mostly replayed. Hold on.
Which nobody believes. But now, let's get back to the ghost car driver and see how it played out. For years, Officer Daniels couldn't stop thinking about what he had witnessed on that night. He went back to that fence dozens of times, measured angles, tested theories, but nothing. Suddenly, other officers started reporting similar incidents. Cars that seemed to vanish during pursuits, always in areas with fences or barriers.
Ghost
Is
car?
there a secret technique that some drivers know? Or was this a 1 in a million physics glitch that can't be replicated? Or is there another way that we just haven't discussed yet? But before we get to that, let's take a look at the second chase on today's list. Arkansas State Trooper Nathan Williams is working the night shift on October 29th. It's one of those boring nights where nothing happens, until he spots them. 3 muscle cars rolling together, 2 Dodge Challengers and a Ford Mustang GT. They're not speeding, at least not yet. But Officer Williams has been doing this long enough to know what's about to happen. The trio approaches a long, empty stretch of highway, perfect for street racing. Williams stays back, just watching everything unfold. They're so focused on each other, so caught up in their little Fast and Furious fantasy, they don't even notice the cop car behind them. Williams could hit his lights right now, but he's smart. Instead, he accelerates just enough to get close enough to read every single license plate. And then, they launch. The white Challenger takes the lead immediately with the black Challenger right behind him. William hits his lights, and
they got
now
loaded.
they notice. While the drivers of the Mustang and the orange Challenger slow down, trying to blend back into traffic like nothing happened, the third one in the group does something else. The white Challenger driver looks in his mirror, sees the cop, and makes a decision. He slams the gas and tries to escape. William is slowly falling behind, but he's not giving up. He knows his patrol car has no chance against the Charger, and instead of following him, potentially endangering lives of others, he decides to end the pursuit, letting the driver flee, at least for now. But remember those license plates William got earlier? Yeah, about that. Back in Arkansas, the white Challenger driver probably thought he was home free. He lost the cop, made it back to his apartment, and parked the car. 2 hours later, there's a knock at his door, and as the suspect opens it, multiple officers confront him. And when one officer says, "We're here for the white Challenger," he knew he was fucked. See, Trooper William did something brilliant. He didn't need to catch them. He just needed their plates. And when you're dumb enough to street race in your own car with your real plates in front of a cop, well, you've basically arrested yourself. They impounded the Challenger on the spot, but it gets even better. Remember the other two racers?
Yeah.
The ones who thought they were smart by slowing down? William visits them too, one by one. In the end, all three cars got impounded, with all three drivers facing charges. Now, let's take a look at a very special police chase, one that
They had one job.
even veteran officers might witness just once in their entire career, if they're lucky, or unlucky, depending on how you look at it. January 30th, 2013, the Nevada desert. Officer Johnson is running radar on Interstate 15 when a black BMW 750Li flies past. The officer clocks him at 90 and a 65. Time for a routine traffic stop, he thinks. The BMW pulls over, and the officer walks up to the car's window. But the driver seems off, fidgety, his eyes darting everywhere but on the officer. Classic signs of someone on something. The officer asks for license and registration, but the name on the license makes him do a double take. Timothy Tyler Andrew Walker. Now, if you're not into racing, that name probably means nothing, but Officer Johnson recognizes it immediately. Tyler Walker, the Tyler Walker. This isn't just some random dude. This is racing legendary. Fourth generation professional driver, 2002 World of Outlaws champion, Knoxville Nationals Rookie of the Year, and a NASCAR Nationwide Series driver. The guy comes from a family where his dad, grandfather, and great-grandfather were all professional racers. The officer's thinking, why is a NASCAR driver acting so sketchy during a traffic stop? Well, let's just say he's going to find out very soon. Johnson goes back to his cruiser to run the plates, and that's when the dispatch drops a bomb. Walker has warrants, federal warrants. This is no longer a speeding ticket. This is an arrest. The officer approaches the car again. "Sir, I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle." Walker looks at him, looks at the road ahead, and that's when this professional race car driver makes a decision that's about to turn a simple traffic stop into a 150-mile-per-hour chase across.
Bro, keep it a stack, bro. What you doing? Let's keep it a buck. What are we doing? What you doing? You a driver, you drive for a living. Cops behind you, you got a warrant. What you doing? What you doing? Let's keep it a buck. What is you doing?
3 states. Then, his right foot finds the accelerator. What happens next is pure racing instinct mixed with terrible judgment. Walker floors it, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, and Walker uses every bit of it. Officer Johnson hits his lights and sirens, calling it in. Unit 23 in pursuit of a black BMW. Nevada plates, heading eastbound on I-15. Driver is Tyler Walker, the race car driver. Dispatch probably thinks he's joking, but there is no time left for thinking. Johnson needs to act. Walker is doing things only a professional would do. He takes perfect racing lines through traffic, uses the banking of the highway like a NASCAR track, and maintains momentum through curves that would send normal drivers spinning. The officer's struggling to...
Wait, tell us. But why is he gassing it like that, though? Only because he's a NASCAR driver. Bro. Because he a NASCAR driver. Hold on. He said... Like what? He was doing the same thing, bro. But when they do it, endangering other lives, other people's lives, putting other people's lives in danger, vehicular manslaughter, all types of shit. But when he does it, it's what is it? What he said?
Dispatch probably thinks he's joking, but there is no time left for thinking. Johnson
Look.
needs to act. Walker is doing things only a professional would do. He takes perfect racing lines through traffic, uses
That's one.
the banking of the highway like a NASCAR track, and maintains momentum through curves that would send normal drivers spinning.
Like what?
The officer's struggling to keep up. His Crown Vic is good, but it's no match for German engineering, piloted by someone who spent their entire life going fast. And what makes the situation even harder is that Tyler knows every police trick. The chase goes on for an entire 40
word?
minutes. 3 states worth of cops are now chasing one drugged-out NASCAR driver. But the thing is, all the skill in the world can't overcome basic physics when you're high on meth. And Walker's about to learn that lesson the hard way. See, while he's been on the Interstate 15, every cop in 3 states has been radioing ahead. Utah Highway Patrol
Why do
knows he's
cops
coming.
do that?
They've had
The
40
zigzag
minutes
and
to
slowing shit
prepare,
down. That shit
40
annoying.
minutes to set up the perfect
Why
track.
y'all do that?
And just a few minutes later, it's time. Walker comes flying around the bend at 120 miles per hour and then sees the strips. But Walker, high on meth and convinced of his own invincibility, tries to swerve around them. He clips them and... the BMW drops onto its rims, shooting sparks everywhere. But this
Damn.
lunatic, he keeps going. The BMW
Damn.
is disintegrating, pieces of wheel flying off. Walker sees an exit and makes one last desperate move. He cranks the wheel hard right, trying to exit the highway. But he makes a fatal error. He tries to go up the off-ramp, the wrong way. Now, there is nowhere to go. The BMW finally dies, blocking the ramp. Walker throws it in park, looks at his passenger, and they both bail out on foot. As Walker gets out,
Bro, imagine the people getting off the exit. Matter of fact, no, getting on the highway. You feel me? With that exit. Yo, me. I would have seen that and I was to call me. Quick reverse. Me. Out of there, bro. Because I know the amount of traffic, my nigga, that'll happen or take place in that vicinity would be crazy. Mind you, look. It'd take him forever to book him. It'd take him forever to put him in the back of the car. It'd take him forever to drive him to the precinct. And then it'd take forever for the tow truck, bro, to get to the spot. Put all the oil, whatever, you know what I'm saying, like the oil absorber thingy on the ground to absorb whatever leaks, like the antifreeze or oil or whatever. And then they gotta tow the car, and then the police gotta dance around and politic a little bit, and then open up traffic. But that's like a good 2 hours of my time being wasted. Nigga, I'm out of there. I'm putting in reverse, and I'm out of there. If I gotta go back where I wasn't or where I just came from, I'm going back. It don't matter, bro. Because I'm not wasting my time
he
in traffic.
immediately
That's not
trips
happening.
and falls face first into the dirt. What an ironic end to this chase. Now comes the craziest part of all these stories. Remember how I said the ghost car was never caught? that nobody knows who the driver was?
Bro, how y'all
Well,
caught him, bro?
that's not entirely true. Because in 2010, someone posted
I'm
on
the
an
ghost car
obscure
driver?
forum claiming to be the driver, and that person explained exactly how he did it.
Oh, so what happened?
The fence had a section where the bottom wasn't properly secured. They
Okay.
knew about it because they lived in the area. They went under at exactly the right angle, and the fence popped back into place. Was it real? Nobody knows. The post was deleted within hours, so there's no way to verify. But if it's true, it means the most legendary escape in police chase history wasn't luck or skill or magic. Instead, it was local knowledge, preparation, and the art of knowing your escape route before you even need it.
What did we learn, chat? At the end of the day, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know where you're going. You gotta have a pre-planned route in mind to get away from the niggas. Because if not, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. I'll be back though.